There was a time when women weren't allowed to vote in the early 1800s. As time progressed, women were able to use their power and voice to protest and demand for a change in the United States. Now, in the 21st century, many young girls and young women are using their voices for a change. And we were able to see this in the 2016 election when Hillary Clinton made political history, when she became the first woman in the United States to be the nominee of a major political party. Clinton was very quick to acknowledge the many women who fought throughout U.S. history for women's rights and helped pave the way for her historic nomination.
The people in the government who were voted into power are lying to us, and us kids seem to be the only ones who notice and are prepared to call BS. Politicians who sit in their gilded House and Senate seats funded by the NRA telling us nothing could have ever been done to prevent this, we call BS. That us kids don't know what we're talking about, that we're too young to understand how the government works. We call BS. If you agree, register to vote, contact your local congresspeople, give them a piece of your mind.
The 2018 midterms were huge for women candidates. In Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn became the state's first woman senator. Over in Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley is the first African-American woman elected to the House from any state in New England. In Maine, voters chose Janet Mills to be the state's first woman governor. Sharice Davids and Deb Haaland became the first Native American women elected to Congress. A total of 273 women were on the ballot in the 2018 midterms, representing both parties. Now compare that to the past 5 elections. That's a big jump in women candidates vying for office.
I mean, of course it provides a different voice. There's obviously fundamental differences between men and women, and you know, obviously people will tell you that that we deserve same things, but people are going to have different opinions because they're different. And I think that a woman being like empowered like that, obviously she'd bring a different voice to the table, and I think it's a good thing.
I think it definitely provides a very unique voice, a very different voice. For one reason, if you look at the history of America and really the history of the rest of the world, women have been silenced for a lot of different reasons, a lot of not good, not worthy reasons. And this has been so institutionalized, both in American society and in other societies, that just having even one woman or one more woman in a position of power as an elected official changes the game. It opens the door for more people, and even one voice is better than having no voice against what we currently were speaking about, I guess.
I think that women are judged much more harshly in politics on things that aren't necessarily related to their career.
I think the biggest issue that concerns me with women in politics is that people will choose to have women over a good leader, but I genuinely think that that the fear that a woman wouldn't make a good leader is also a problem, and I think that that's what I'm most worried about.
Political realm, one person I've found especially influential recently has been Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Of course, part of that is because we have a lot of political opinions in common, but part of it is just because it's so refreshing to see a young woman, especially a young woman who is from a poor area and who is Hispanic, who can achieve this power, and she's actually doing things with it instead of just being in a higher position and serving themselves. But she's serving the people, and she's been incredibly transparent in serving the people. And I find that inspirational both as a citizen who she has a degree of control over as being a congressperson, and as a woman who hopes to be have a political career out of high school and out of college.
The only one that I've experienced that I can remember off the top of my head was, and she's not technically, I mean, yeah, she was Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, when she did the whole Health for Kids movement. I remembered that one, but that's because it was during when I was growing up. I really hope that we have some really good female leaders in the future and that they can offer new voices. And I think that's what I'm most excited for. Well, I think that a way we can change this is, obviously the first step is normalizing it, and I think that we're really making strides with that, and also to see a woman in power. And obviously we don't want to just put any woman in power. I think that we need a good female leader to help push this sort of movement forward.
Women were much more likely than men to discuss issues like education, climate change, and minimum wage. There's even evidence that women make better lawmakers. One study found that female lawmakers bring in 9% more federal spending for their constituents than their male counterparts. And that's on top of the fact that women lawmakers sponsor more bills than male legislators. One study found that if a state elected a woman senator or governor, an average of 7 additional women would run for state government in the following election cycle. These women who were elected during the 2018 midterms will help inspire other women to run for office in the future. And as more women join government, their representation will become more and more normalized.
But listen and understand.